If you're in your 60s or 70s and wondering what you should have saved for your retirement, this video could be for you. Now, if you're not in your 60s or 70s, or you want to know how much you should save in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, I have videos on that, which I'll link somewhere up here. But let's get on with it. We're going to be breaking down what the average retirement looks like, whether you've saved enough, what to do if you haven't. Now, within the UK, those in those 60s and 70s are actually looking to transition into retirement. The days of working to a semi or retired lifestyle is a big change. It's the point in where your income shifts from your earnings to your savings. And if you've saved enough, it will be a comfortable transition, whereas if you haven't saved enough, well, it could be a tough transition. This is a quick breakaway to say subscribe, consider commenting, click the like button, whatever you want to do, but it helps the channel. And yeah, back to the video. Now in the UK at the moment, the current retirement age is 66, but it is rising. Now, whether you're already retired or planning on retiring, financial security has become more important than ever. So what does the average person in their 60s actually have saved? Now, according to the latest figures, the average pension pot for someone in their early 60s is around £112,000. Now, on top of that, the new full state pension gives retirees just over £11,500 a year. The state pension is protected by the triple lock system. Now, for retirees, what this means is whichever grows the most, the state pension will also follow that. The triple lock system was introduced to help pensioners keep up with the rising costs of inflation. However, the triple lock system and the state pension aren't enough by themselves to live a comfortable retirement. Looking at the Pension and Lifetime Saving Association, they break down 3 different types of retirement living standards: minimum, moderate, and comfortable. I'll leave a link down in the description so you can have a look in your own time, but it's really good free information just to have a basis of where you potentially might fall in that bracket. Now, with private pensions, we need to look at the 4% rule. The 4% rule essentially says that you can withdraw 4% of your earnings every year without actually spending all of your retirement. Now, let's look at the minimum lifestyle. In order to generate £14,400 a year and adopting the 4% rule, we actually need over £360,000 in a savings pot. For £31,000 a year, it's £780,000 in a retirement pot. And for £43,000 a year, we actually need over £1 million. Now, these numbers might shock you because if you think about what you would need for £40,000 a year, £1 million seems quite a lot of money. So what does a healthy retirement look like? Well, it's not all about money. It's not just about hitting a number just because some authority says that this is what you need to be comfortable. It's about peace of mind. It's about having the choices that you want on offer in your retirement without having to worry about the financial cost or responsibility on that. I think we get caught up in the worry of we have to hit a certain number, but it's different for everyone, right? Some people have got an outstanding mortgage. Some people's mortgages are paid off. Some people want a new car every 3 years, and some people are okay with one car for the rest of their life. But what's the risk of falling short? Now, look, this is a finance channel, and I think it would be wrong for me to say that actually don't worry about the money and do what makes you happy, but I personally would say plan for the future. And if you're in your 60s and 70s, that you need to think about what actually the risks are of falling short. Now, if you're approaching retirement and you're planning on to live off just a state pension, this is going to be really tough. Rising food prices, rent prices, bills, transportation, the list's endless. And I think the issue is if you're relying on the state pension, if you haven't saved anything into a pension pot, you're going to struggle. Remember, we're living longer every single year. And if we plan that 11,500 is going to keep us afloat for the next 10, 15, 20, 30 years of life, inflation is going to erode that away. Now, what £1,000 buys you today probably won't buy you in 20 years. I don't want this to be doom and gloom. Like, obviously, it can be a little bit worrying when you get to 70 that you probably don't have enough money saved. With the 4% rule, that's not living a lavish lifestyle. But there are many things that you can do to actually increase your savings, even if you're in your 60s or 70s. Now, if you're still working, you've got an amazing opportunity. Max out your pension contributions. You get tax relief on top of it. Your employer will match to a certain percentage, and it's money that is going to be there for you, probably in the short term. And now, if you've already done that or you can't do that, the next best thing to do is open a SIP. Now, it's flexible, it's tax efficient for later savings. You can choose where you put your money. If you're unsure, speak to a financial advisor or do your research. Next is to consider deferring your state pension. Now, it might not be something that you want to do in the short term, but if you defer your state pension for every year that you do, you actually gain 5.8%. Next up is to review your budget. No one wants to admit it, but we're probably spending more than we should do. The food out, the beer on the weekend, the sweet treats, all that sort of stuff mounts up. And small savings can free up cash, which you can then make work for you, or you can save into a high interest account for your pension. Next up is to explore part-time work. If you're retired, you might not need to work, but you might want a few extra pounds in your pocket, then maybe consider working a part-time role. The beauty is that you don't actually need to, but it might help your financial situation if you focus on something that isn't super taxing and full-time. Now, the last on this list is to downsize. Now, if you're retired and you're in the fortunate position of owning your own home, it might be time to look at either downsizing or equity release. Nobody wants to hear this. If you've saved for your home, you've paid off your mortgage, you're in a privileged position, actually, you've got cash tied up in a home that maybe doesn't serve you. What I mean by this is there are individuals out there, maybe you, that have a large home of 3 or 4 or 5 beds that realistically you use maybe one of the rooms. Now, there's an emotional attachment to our houses, which I totally understand. But if you're in a position where you haven't saved for your future in your pension and you're falling short of where you want to be, it's a great way to release cash without having to work or to cut spending. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, so seek professional advice. Now, whether you have £30,000 saved or £300,000 saved, knowing where you stand is really important. Now, if you're in your 60s or 70s and you're planning on retirement, making a few steps, changes, or alterations to your lifestyle could really help with your future. I'm guessing most people in retirement think about not having to work, not having to worry about money, not having to worry about 9 to 5, get to treat themselves from a Monday to Friday. They don't have to live for the weekend. Now, all people deserve that. They've worked 50 years in a corporate job or in construction, and now's the time to relax and enjoy the fruits of their labor. But a few smart steps could actually save you financial pressure when in retirement. This is a message to people of a younger generation. If you're watching this and you're not in your 60s or 70s, if you're younger in your 30s or 40s or 50s, start now. Plan for your future. Think about retirement. Inflation is eating away our savings every single year. In the UK, we have a tendency to push back our pension. We don't have to worry about that. We're young. Oh, it's not for 20 years. But I would say that you do have to worry about it. I think it's something that you need to be conscious of and that you need to plan towards. Action now, compounded, could make huge changes in the future. You don't have to worry about money then, because you made the decision now to focus on it. If you found this helpful, consider subscribing, liking, commenting, and all that sort of stuff. My name's David. This has been Wealth Fund 21, and thanks for watching.